Welcome to another Jaiva Dharma session. Today is Thursday, the 18th of July, 2024, and we're streaming out of Surabhikunj in Godrumdweep, Navadweep. So we'll continue with our 33rd chapter today. And I was just thinking, if anyone's come this far with us through the Jaiva Dharma, then that gives them the eligibility to hear these higher topics actually. We've covered the Sambandha and the Abhidaya, the Dasmula, in great detail. We've been through them. So there's some foundation there. So we're not without adhikar. We have some adhikar. We've earned some adhikar to hear these topics. So we'll have a kirtan. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ramo Ramo Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Rama Ramo Ramo Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ramo Ramo Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ramo Ramo Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ramo Ramo Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai, Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai. Jaya Nityananda Rai, Jaya Sachinandan, Jaya Gauda Hari, Sachinandan, Jaya Gauda Hari, Jaya Sachinandan, Jaya Gauda Hari, Sachinandan, Jaya Gauda. O Jaya Radha, Madana Mohan Radha, Madana Mohan Radhe, Jaya Radha, Madana Mohan Radha, Madana Mohan Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, O Radhe, 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 Radhe. Jai Shri Shri Guru Garanga Ganahavika Giridhari Radha Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nityananda Rai Ki Jai Sachinandana Gaudhari Ki Jai Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Surabhi Kunj Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarazar Shishimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarazar Shishimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarazar Shishimad Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Jagat Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarazar Shishimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Paramahamsa Mahabhagavat Srila Gauri Kishodas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Saptam Goswami Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Jai Vaishnav Sabhaboma Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Srila Baladevi Dibhushan Gaudi Acharya Ki Jai Jai Srila Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai Jai Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Treya Ki Jai Jai Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Shri Bhadra Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bharadasa Raghunath Sat Goswami Prabhu's Ki Jai Arupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai Jai Swarup Damodar Rai Ramananda Gaura Parsad Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haras Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sigahol Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Antadvip Mayapur Simantadvip Gaudram Dvip Madhya Dvip Kola Dvip Ritu Dvip Jana Dvip Modam Dvip Rudu Dvip Atmaka Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dvadasavar Matmika Shri Brajamandal Ki Jai Shri Radha Kun Shama Kun Ganga Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Shrimati Brinda Devi Maharani Ki Jai, Shrimati Yogamaya Purnamasi Devi Maharani Ki Jai, Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ki Jai, Ketra Mandal Ki Jai, Sarva Vigna Vinashakari Shina Shingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai, Bhakta Pravar Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai, Charidam Ki Jai, Chari Sampradaya Ki Jai, Chari Acharya Ki Jai, Akara Mataraj Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai, Shri Keshavji Gaudiya Mat Ki Jai, Shri Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Samagata Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Aginati Mirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Anapita Chirim Chirat Karunabharti Nokalo
Samarpaitam unnata ujvala rasam swabhakti shriyam Hari purata sundaradati kadamba satipita Sada hridare kandare swaratu vasachinandanaha Priya Swarupe, Daita Sarupe, Prema Sarupe, Sahajabi Rupe, Nijan Rupe, Prabhueka Rupe, Tatana Rupe, Swavila Sarupe. Yam Prabhajantam Anapetyam Apeti Krityam Dvaipaino Viraha Kadara Ajuhava Putre Ditam Mayatayo Tarabo Vinidustam Sarabhutam Hridim Munimanatoshmi Bhaktiya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Shiptascha Karma Ditarangamadye Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapana Brinde Namaste Charanarabindam Bhajami Radham Aravinda Netram Smarami Radham Madhurashmitasyam Vadami Radham Karuna Baradram Tatoma Manastikatena Kapi Tavaivasmi Najivami Tvaivina Iti Vignaya Radhe Tvam Nayavam Charantikam. I'm first of all offering millions and millions of Dandavat pranams to the lotus feet of my most beloved Gurudev, Nitya Leela Pravishta Om, Astok Tarazara Shishimad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And then I'm offering my Dandavat pranams to our dearmost Namo, Nitya Leela Pravishta Om, Astok Tarazara Shishimad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And to our beloved Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine, Gauda Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Braite, and all our illustrious Rupanuga Guru Varga, and all the Vaishnava and Vaishnavi devotees of the Lord, my Dandavat pranams to all of you. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhuvevacha, Patitanam Pavanibhyo, Vaishnave Namo Namaha. So, we'll carry on with our Jaiva Dharma study, and the first 5 verses today on page 829. Falshruti, the fruits of hearing. Pritivita yatakata dharma name chale, bhagavata kai savat paripurna chale. As indicated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.2, all the philosophies on earth that are celebrated as dharma are utterly deceptive. These are the philosophies earthly that are celebrated on earth. There's the word very clearly here. It doesn't mean that they're nitya prem. Chale dharma chadikara satya dharma mati chatuvarga tyaji dara nitya prema gati. One should completely abandon such deceptive dharmas and absorb his mind in true dharma. In other words, one should give up the fourfold goals of material life. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Basically, dharma, artha, kama, moksha means just our everyday material, worldly activities. That's what it really means. We should actually reduce those as much as possible and aspire solely for the ultimate destination of nitya prem. So there has to be balance here, of course, between our social necessities and our lives, depending on our ages, perhaps, and our ashrams, where we're up to. But if the principal heart and focus is on nitya prem, in any condition, even as a 5-year-old child, we hear Prahlad, Dhruva Maharaj. So we've got the examples in Bhagavatam. Amritvame mamsa brahme nija jade buddhi, nirvishesha brahm gyan nahi chirashuddhi. Those who are deluded identify themselves with matter. That is their error. However, one cannot be purified by such delusion by endeavors for nirvishesh brahm gyan. This is like the only alternative. If you're not going for bhakti, then you settle for moksha. It's the next. It's the highest thing in the material realm, to become liberated, basically. Ivichitrata hina hale nirvishesha hoy, kala samatalya seya aprakrita noy. The Mayavadi thinks Sri Krishna to be subject to the limitations of time, such as birth and death, and considers that he is not transcendental. Thus he rejects Sri Bhagavan's Vichitrata, astonishing characteristics, paraphernalia, qualities, and lila. Through this vicious attempt, he is left with the philosophy of Nirvishesh Brahm. If you don't take the lila, we've said many times the tattva is like the horse, and the rider on the horse, the purpose of the horse is to carry the rider, and the rider on the horse represents lila. So if we are attracted to the lila, then this is bringing out the astonishing qualities, characteristics of Krishna, this Vichitrata, if we're um, able to focus on the Leela. And ultimately, we'll come to the 38th chapter here, which will describe the entire Astakali Leela for us to meditate on. Kanda Gyane Haya Dharma Ache Sunishchaya Prakriti Haila Kabu Aprakritanaya. Such base and contemptible gyan, which arises out of an attempt to dismember the divine form of Bhagavan, is only fit to be rejected. It is prakrita, materialistic, and should never be given credence as aprakat dhan. The first thing in Bhagavad Gita we learn is to distinguish between what is matter and what is spirit. In the second chapter, all these verses, Dehinoshmin Yata Dehi, are all showing, pointing in that direction. What is matter, what is spirit? It's the first lesson we must understand in our quest for spiritual awakening. So yesterday we discussed many things, many beautiful aspects here. And the last thing we went through was the 8 avastas, or the 8 heroines. So I posted on our WhatsApp thread today a list of these 8, because I'd just like to spend a few moments just highlighting them for our familiarity. And then when we read the text, it'll have a deeper impression. So these 8 heroines, if we look at them closely, they actually go in a progressive order. They're not just haphazardly written. So the Abhisarika, we know that there's Abhisar, there's meeting. Abhisar, that's what it's called. So that Abhisarika, that person who goes to the meeting, that's the first type of heroine. And this is described as being full of joy, expectancy, and happiness. The Abhisarika, they're going to the meeting. There's so many different beautiful descriptions of Radhika. On the dark moon night, she'll be completely covered in black, and so on. Her ankle bells will be being tied so as not to make any sound. On the Purnima nights, on the full moon nights, she'll be covered with camphor, her body, to make it look white. She'll be just wearing white, basically. So this clandestine mood is beautiful to appreciate, and it's all, of course, in connection with the Parakiya Ras. If this Parakiya Ras wasn't predominant, then there would be no need for these dramatic meetings that they go through. There would be no excitement there. So everything is arranged by Yogamaya, of course. So the first heroine is this Abhisarika. She goes to the meeting. Then the second is also very positive, very happy, you can say. This Vasika Saja. This is preparing the kunj in great anticipation for Krishna's arrival. Sometimes Krishna does this. Sometimes Krishna is the first one. He's preparing for Radhika. Now the next one is considered not so happy, we can say. This is Utkantita. This is eagerly awaiting for Krishna to appear. That means the anticipation has gone from just expectant anticipation to maybe he's not even going to come. That thought will come in the mind. So this Utkantita is quite anxious, and it's not filled with the happiness that the previous 2 heroines had. And it's going through a progression here, you can see. And then Kandita, when Krishna comes very late and there's signs on his body, this will anger the Nayika. So it's a progression through. And sometimes Krishna just denies that he's in it. But then, if Radhika becomes really aggrieved by this, and then the next heroine in that aggrievement is called Kalahantarika. And this is when the Nayika sends him away, then becomes even more aggrieved if she sends him away. So this is a progression. These first 5 we can see. And we can see out of these first 5, 3 of them are not
happy, so to speak. The first two are only. And then there's Swadhina Bhartika. This is when Radharani has forgiven Krishna. Krishna has supplicated himself fully, offered his flute, his peacock feather, so many prayers at Radharani's lotus feet, and she's been appeased. There are many, many pastimes describing this, and she's been appeased. And now she's controlling her lover. This is the highest stage of the lover, when she completely controls Krishna. Tie my hair braid, straighten my dress, do my shringara. What will the Sakis think when they come in, etc. And she's just ordering Krishna around. Krishna's just immediately complicit. So this is the most satisfying stage of the heroine. This is the sixth heroine, Swadhina Bhartika. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati talks much about this also. Then the next two stages are Vipralabdha. This is the seventh, and the heroine is disappointed due to Krishna not even showing up at all. Radhika has made such an effort to actually come to the kunj to decorate, etc. She's been waiting, and she's gone through, it seems like hell. The descriptions appears like that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going to describe here now why it's not. The actual moods during that time. So this is Vipralabdha, so it's a sequence. And then 8 is Prosita Bhartika. This is when the lover is far away at a distant place. This is like Radharani is in Uddhav Kyari and Krishna is in Dwarka, that Prosita Bhartika. So having familiarized ourselves with these 8 heroines, we can read on and have a little bit more of a platform, so to speak. So there are 8 avastas: Abhisarika, trysting; Vasika, saja, prepared and perfumed. This is when the kunj is prepared and perfumed. Utkantita, impatiently hankering. And then Kandita, jealous, because she suspects that Krishna is having a relationship with somebody else. And now the order is changed a little bit here. Vipralabdha, she's disappointed. And then Kalahantarita, anguished due to separation by quarrel. Radharani has severely chastised Krishna. Then there's Prosita Bhartika, separation from the beloved. And Swadhina Bhartika, controls her lover. These 8 conditions occur in the 15 types of Nyayika that I've already mentioned. So now Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going to go into these different types of heroines. Vijay, who is the Abhisarika? Goswami, the Abhisarika arranges a tryst, an abhisar, with her lover at an appointed place and goes there to rendezvous with him. The Jyotsna Abhisarika goes for abhisar dressed in white garments. Jyotsna is the full moon, during the bright fortnight night of the moon, Sukla Paksh. And the Tamo Abhisarika dresses herself in black clothes during the Krishna Paksha, the dark fortnight. At the time of going for abhisar, she is absolutely silent and gorgeously decorated from head to toe, as if out of shyness. She contracts her bodily limbs, and she is accompanied by one affectionate Sakhi. It's described that when she walks to the Abhisarika, she walks like a rabbit. When you see a rabbit, it runs a little bit, then it stops. And it moves a little bit, then it stops. So Radhika is like that. She goes very, very quickly, then she stops. Then she goes very quickly again, then she stops. So it's like a nervous anticipation of mood. And she's always in anxiety if someone will see her or anything like that. So my Gurudev even describes how in the courtyard of Javat, sometimes they throw water down in the mud and put thorns in the water, so that when Radhika is walking through, she'll learn to tolerate that difficulty in her going for the Abhisar. So she's making her preparation. It's a big deal to go to the Abhisar. So she wants to make sure that she reaches that rendezvous point. So, Vijay.
Please tell me about the Vasika Saja Nayaka. Goswami, the Vasika Saja Nayaka ornaments and perfumes her body and prepares and decorates the place of meeting in eager anticipation of her lover's arrival. Determined to engage in Smara Krida, the games of Kamadev, hoping that her lover will come when he gets the opportunity, she gazes down the path along which her lover will approach, glorifies her lover, and hears his Leela Gatar in the company of her Sakis, and at every moment eagerly waits for a messenger to bring news of her lover. All these are the activities of Vasika Saja. Vijay, please describe Utkantita. Goswami, when the Nayak is late for the rendezvous, through no fault of his own, the restless Nayika, I think Bhaktivinoda Thakur is being a little bit, or Goswami is being a little bit humorous here, because it's always his fault if he's late. He's being captured by another Nayika, Chandravali or someone. The restless Nayika, who becomes excessively impatient and eager to meet her lover, is called Utkantita. Her heart burns in agony, her body trembles. She speculates as to why her lover has not come. She loses all desire to do anything, and she describes her own sorry plight, shedding tears of lamentation. These are the activities of the Utkantita Nyayak. Describe even the birds become in suffering separation. The condition of Vasika Saja also ultimately transforms into that of Utkantita. That's, like I said, as a progression through these heroines. When the Vasika Saja has been waiting since the arranged time for Hakanta's arrival, she sees that he has not come. She changes her mind and thinks, perhaps he could not come because of the influence of another Naika. Bereft of the company of her most beloved Kanta, she grows excessively eager and restless. She is then called Utkantita Nayaka. So see the progression here. Vijay, who is Kandita Nayaka? Goswami, a Kandita Nayaka is one whose Nayak finally appears long after the appointed time for meeting, during the last prahara, 3 hours of the night, bearing the signs of amorous pastimes with another Nayika. At that time, the Kandita Nayak takes very long, drawn-out breaths due to anger, and does not speak a word to her beloved. So all of these have been described beautifully by the acharyas in the different scriptures. Vijay, who is called Vipralabdha? Goswami, sometimes by the will of providence, the Nayika is unable to come for one reason or another, even after fixing the time and place of the tryst by a signal or hint. The Nayika who is severely afflicted by pangs of separation from her beloved at that time is called Vipralabdha. She shows many different types of behavior, such as decrying her own worthlessness, becoming anxious, lamenting, weeping bitterly, sighing deeply, and fainting. Jaiva Goswami describes this beautifully in Gita Govinda. Many pastimes there, in Gita Govinda in particular. Vijay, what are the symptoms of Kalahantarita? Goswami, the Kalahantarita Nayaka severely reprimands her Pranbala and then spurns him, even after he falls at her feet before all her friends. She is called Kalahantarita because of her activities and emotions, such as delirious, incoherent speech, anguish, debility of body and mind, and taking long, drawn-out breaths. All these are painting the picture of love between Radha and Krishna, the anxiousness that the heroine has to meet with Krishna, and the anxiety that she has to go through, and the effects that it has on her body. These are designed to melt the heart of a sadhak into relish of these pastimes, to absorb them more and more, and thereby absorbing the beauty of these personalities of Radha and Krishna, developing our attraction to Radha and Krishna. Vijay, who is called Prosita Bhartika? Goswami, the Prosita Bhartika Nayakas
lover has gone to a distant land. She has many activities including melancholy, inertia, anxiety, and not sleeping, dressing or bathing herself. Vijay, who is Swadina Bhartika? So he hasn't written it in the same order that I've described. Goswami, the Nayika whose Priyatma is submissive to her and who always stays with her is called Swadina Bhartrika. She has many activities such as enjoying pastimes with him in the forest, playing in the water with him, and picking flowers. Vijay, so the condition of Swadina Bhartika must be the source of immense joy. Goswami, the Swadina Bhartika Nayak, whose beloved cannot leave her for even a moment because of being controlled by her, Prem, is called Madhavi. Among the 8 types of Nayika, 3, the Swadina Bhartika, Vasika Saja, and Abhisarika, are cheerful at heart and adorned with ornaments and other decorations. This is what we said at the beginning. The remaining 5 Nayikas, namely Kandita, Vipralabdha, Utkantita, Prosita Bhartika, and Kalahantarita, do not have any ornaments and finery. Their hearts are afflicted with anxiety, and they lament bitterly, resting their left cheek on their left hand. It's like the picture that we have, you know, the one that Shamrani has painted. It's the same.
These herrings, they refer only to Radhika, or they can refer to other gopis as well?
They can refer to others as well, but principally we're focusing on Radhika. But they can, if Krishna's made the arrangement with Chandravali, for example, yes, when you read Ujjwala and Nilamani, there are so many occasions when different gopis become in man with Krishna, angry with him. Nothing like the man of Radhika, because Radhika knows that Krishna can't live without her. So when she goes into man, it's a much deeper event for Krishna. But when the other less significant gopis go into man, Krishna can sort of cope with it. But it does happen, definitely applicable. In Ujjwala Nilamani, it's full of different examples of that. Where are we? Among the 8 types of Nayika, yes, cheerful. Their hearts are afflicted with anxiety, and they lament bitterly, resting their left cheek on their left hand. Vijay, how can such suffering exist in Krishna Prem? What is the meaning of this affliction? Now this we need to understand. Goswami, since Krishna Prem is Chinmoy, transcendental, this apparent suffering is also only another astonishing variety of Paramananda. The affliction experienced in the material world is actually a source of acute misery, whereas in the Jagat, Chit Jagat, it is simply a transformation of ecstatic anand, because it moves into the area of vipralamba, separation. And we know, it will be described later on, how the height of the separation mood ultimately is the same as the height of the meeting. Ultimately, you have the sattvika bhavs that are fully blazing in Madanaki Mahabhav, and in Mohanaki Mahabhav of the separation mood, they're also blazing. So the ultimate reality of the bliss is the same, either in separation or in meeting. It's different tastes. Very hard to understand for the conditioned soul. We have to hear it many times. Many times. When one tastes this suffering, it gives rise to the immense happiness of Chinmoy Ras. However, this cannot be expressed by words. In other words, it's not manifest this way in this material world. It's completely achintya for us. He's saying these words, but how can you understand it? How can we understand it? Except by the experience of it.
Here it says when one tastes this suffering.
When one tastes this suffering that he's talking about.
Oh, okay, I heard you say happiness. Sorry.
Did I say that?
Oh, maybe I didn't.
Maybe I did. When one tastes this suffering, it gives rise to the immense happiness. That's when I said happiness.
Okay, sorry.
Happiness of Chinmoy Ras. So when one tastes this suffering, these are many of these descriptions are in Ananda Vrindavan Champu. There's a place there. I'll send you the quote. Vijay, what are the degrees of prem that these nayakas possess? Goswami, the nayakas have been divided into three categories: Uttam, Madhyam, and Kanishta, according to their degree of prem for Brajendranandan. Krishna feels bhav for any particular nayika to the degree that that nayika feels bhav for him. Yeyatamam prapadyante tam stataiva braja. As the devotees serve him, he reciprocates accordingly. It's the same principle. Vijay, what are the symptoms of Uttam? Goswami, the Uttam Nayika can abandon all her dharmas as if they were an insignificant piece of straw for the sake of giving her beloved just a moment's happiness. Even if the Nayika makes this type of Nayika, even if the Nayak makes this type of Nayika unhappy, she does not become jealous, and her heart is torn asunder if anyone tells her that her beloved is unhappy, even if it is not true. She only lives. This is inconceivable for the conditioned soul. We are so self-centered. Everything has to be for us. But the love, this divine love that we're reading about, is on the absolute platform. Vijay, please describe the symptoms of the Madhyama. Goswami, her heart simply becomes dejected when she hears about the unhappiness of her beloved. Vijay, what are the symptoms of the Kanishta? Goswami, the Kanishta Nayika is fearful of obstacles, such as the shame arising from public opinion that might prevent her from meeting Krishna. Vijay, how many types of Nayika are there altogether? Goswami, altogether there are 360 types of Nayika. First, there are the 15 types that I've mentioned before, and these 15 types have been divided into 8 types each. Further been divided into 8 types each. 5 times 8, that equals 120 types. And each of these is again classified as Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttam. 120 times 3, that makes 360 types of Nayika. Vijay, now that I've heard an account of the Nayikas, I have become eager to know about the mutual distinctions between the Yuteshwaris. Yuteshwaris are the group leaders. Please be causelessly merciful and explain this to me. Goswami, the Yuteshwaris are divided into Swapaksh, Vipaksh, and Tatashta. After that, there are 3 more divisions, according to the degree of Saubhagya, good fortune, Adhika, great, Sama, moderate, and Lagvi, light. These are again divided into 3 further categories: Prakara, harsh, Madhya, moderate, and Mridvi, soft. The Nayika, who boldly expresses her sorrow and anger in words, is called Prakara. The Mridvi Nayika speaks sweetly, and the nature of the Madhya Nayika is situated between these 2. We've actually made a document with all these different terminologies on them. We'll post after this class so that you can see and become more familiar with these terms. The Adhika Nayikas are divided into 2 sections, namely Atyantiki, extreme, and Apekshiki, comparative. One who has no superior and no equal is called Atyantika Adhika. This applies only to Srimati Radha. Atyantika Adhika. She is Madhya, and she has no equal in Braj.
Vijay. Who are the Apekshika Adikas? Goswami. Apekshika Adikas Nayikas are Yuteshwaris who are superior to one or several other Yuteshwaris. Vijay. Who are Atyantiki Lagu? Goswami. Atyantiki Lagu is the Nayak to whom all the other Nayakas are superior. All Nayakas are Lagu compared to Atyantiki Adhika. Except for the Atyantiki Lagu, all Yuteshwaris are Adhika. Thus there is no question of the Atyantiki Adhika Yuteshwari being equal or inferior to anyone else. And similarly, there is no question of the Atyantiki Lagu being superior to anyone else. There is only one type of Sama Lagu. The Madhya Yuteshwari is of 9 types, arising from the categories of Adhika, Prakara, and so on. Therefore, there are 12 divisions among the Yuteshwaris. 1. Atyantiki Adhika. 2. Sama Lagu. 3. Adhika Madhya. 4. Sama Madhya. 5. Lagu Madhya. 6. Adhika Prakara. 7. Sama Prakara. 8. Lagu Prakara. 9. Adhika Mritvi. 10. Sama Mritvi. 11. Lagu Mritvi. And at 12. Atyantiki Lagu. So we'll send this document around. Vijay. Now I would like to know about the different types of duties, messengers. Goswami. The Nayakas who are afflicted with an intense hankering to meet with Krishna require the help of messengers, duties, who are of 2 kinds, Swayam duty and Apta duty. So we've already discussed these to some degree. Vijay, what is the nature of the Swayam duty? Goswami, when the Nayika is bewildered by anurag, deep attachment, her excessive eagerness sometimes vanquishes her shyness, so that she becomes shameless and personally expresses her bhav to her Nayak. This is called Swayam duty, because generally they keep their bhav contained. The expression can be of 3 kinds, with the body, Kaika Abhiyog, in words, Vachika Abhiyog, and with the eyes, Chakshush Abhiyog. Vijay, what is a Vachika Abhiyog? Goswami, Vachika Abhiyog is only a hint or suggestion, Vyanga. There are 2 types of suggestion, the suggestion through intonation, Shabda Vyanga, and the suggestion in the meaning, Artha Vyanga. Sometimes the suggestion is made by referring to Krishna, and sometimes by referring to something nearby. Vijay, what are the suggestions of which Krishna is the subject? Goswami, there are 2 types of suggestions of which Krishna is the subject, Shakshat, direct, and Vyapadesh, by deceit. Vijay, what is the direct suggestion? Goswami, direct suggestions are categorized as Garva, proud statement, Akshepa, accusation, and Yancha, direct begging. There are many kinds. Vijay, what is a suggestion expressed through an accusation, Akshep? Goswami, one type of suggestion expressed through an accusation is based on the sound of the words, and another on the meaning. So there's the sound and there's the meaning, the different. How, depending on how we say it. There is no necessity of giving examples to illustrate this because you are conversant with the Alanka rhetoric. Vijay, very well. What is a suggestion expressed by begging, Yancha? Goswami, the suggestion expressed as begging are divided into 2 types, Swartha and Parata. Swartha Yancha means to express only one's own request, and Parata Yancha means that one's request is expressed by someone else. Within these 2 categories,
there are distinct suggestions, either through intonation, shabda vyanga, or through meaning, artha vyanga. When the bhav is mixed in with the words, it is known as an indication, sanketika yangsha. Sanketika yangsha. Vijay, I have understood the sakshat vyanga in those direct abhiyog statements in the speech of the Nayakas to Krishna. There are suggestions in intonation, shabda vyanga, and suggestions in meaning, artha vyanga. Their use is seen in drama and other theatrical performances. The poets have manifested them through their oratory genius. Now kindly explain the meaning of Vyapadesh. Goswami. The word Vyapadesh is a technical term derived from the word Apadesh in Alankar Shastra. Vyapadesh means by deceit, that is, one expresses a confidential meaning on the pretext of saying something else. Actually, if we read Vidagdha Madhav, it's full of explanations of that. All the time, Krishna is saying something and then it's got a second meaning underneath it. And the gopis, they can take the first meaning or they can take the second meaning all the way through. It almost as if they're speaking in two languages at the same time. I mean, the depth of the sensitivity and intelligence is so acute. It's remarkable because they're not conditioned souls, they're spiritual personalities. The purport is that one speaks to Krishna in such a way that the obvious meaning conveys one idea, but there is a hidden entreaty to render some service. This method of communication is called Vyapadesh, and it performs the work of a duty. It's a messenger by speaking in this way. Amazing, huh? Vijay. So Vyapadesh is a kind of deceptive statement whose secret meaning expresses the sense of begging for loving service. Now kindly continue. Goswami, there is a type of expression called Purush Vishaya Gata Viyog. This occurs when one thinks Krishna is present, and although he is hearing, he is not really hearing, and begins to converse with a nearby animal or bird. This is also divided into two types: the suggestion arising from the sound of the words, and the suggestion arising from the meaning of the words. Vijay, I have understood this by your mercy. Now, please tell me what the bodily suggestions are. Goswami, bodily abhiyog is performing activities in Krishna's presence, such as snapping one's fingers, standing up suddenly on some pretext, covering one's limbs out of fear and shyness, writing on the ground with one's toe, scratching one's ear, applying tilak, dressing oneself, gesturing with one's eyebrows, embracing one's saki, scolding one's gopi friend, biting one's lips, stringing a necklace, making a sound with one's ornaments, exposing one's armpit, writing Krishna's name, and twining creepers around a tree. All these are very significant messages that all the gopis know and understand like another language. So they can be speaking three languages simultaneously. It's very beautiful. It's the height of sensitivity. Every nuance, every inflection, every movement has significance. Like in a musical symphony, every sound, every instrument is there, having its particular addition to the harmony of the complete symphony. Vijay, please tell me about suggestions with the eyes, Chakshu Abhiyoga. Goswami, laughing with the eyes, half closing the eyes, making dancing movements with the eyes, ogling, squinting, looking with the left eye, and sidelong glancing. These are all suggestions with the eyes. Actually, if you've ever seen the Indian movies, the Mahabharata or the Ramayana like that, they a lot of their language is spoken with the eyes. The Indian society knows that. They speak with the eyes often. It's the eyes that actually convey the heart or the mood or the meaning. And in this civilization, the Indians are very expert with that. So in their videos that they make, they often just have a lot of attention on the eye movements, which is coming from here. Vijay, I have understood Swayam Duty. You have just given a hint to convey some idea about these messengers, and I've understood that they are of innumerable varieties. Now please tell me about Apta Duty. Goswami, these duties never commit a breach of confidence or disclose the secrets to which they are privy, even if their life heirs are about to depart. They are affectionate and extremely cunning in the art of conversation. Only those youthful gopis who are endowed with all virtues are the duties of the Braja Sundaris. Vijay, how many types of Apta Duty are there? Goswami, there are 3 types: Amitartha, Nishtrartha, Patrahari. Amitartha is a duty who understands certain hints or signals and then arranges for the Nayak and the Nayika to meet. Nistartha is a Saki who causes the meeting of the lover and beloved by employing persuasive arguments and reasoning, and the Patrahari is one who only delivers a message. I think all these indicate the confidentiality between them all, that they can have these language deceptions to increase the drama of the meetings and so on. It's quite remarkable. Vijay, are there any other kinds of Apta Duty? Goswami, Silpakarani, artists; Daivi Gyan, astrologers; Lingini, ascetics; Paricharika, maidservants; Datrei, nurses; Vanadevi, goddesses of the forest; and Sakis are also included in the category of duties. Silpakarni uses their artistic paintings. Silpakarni uses their artistic paintings to induce the lovers to meet. How beautiful. The Daivi Gyan duties arrange meetings by explaining their astrological predictions. Lingini duties, for example Purnamasi, wear the garments of tapasvinis, female ascetics. Several Sakis, including Lavangamanjari and Banumati, are Paricharika duties. Shrimati Radhika's nursemaids are Datrei duties. The Vanadevis are presiding deities of the forest of Vrindavan. Vrindadevi, she has millions of Vanadevis, all working for her. These are not ordinary souls. Abhistaritita Devis. The Vanadevis are presiding deities of the forest of Vrindavan. Adhistartri Devis. The Sakis mentioned previously are also duties, and they perform their function by expressing their messages openly or by indirect hints and suggestions. To do this, they employ all kinds of devices, such as Vyapadesh, deceit; Shabdamul, tone of words; Arthamul, direct word meaning; Prashamsa, praise; and Akshepa, allegations. When Vijay Kumar had heard this explanation, he offered his Dandavat Pranam to the lotus feet of Sri Gopal Guru Goswami. Taking his leave, he returned to his residence, reflecting along the way all that he had heard. So very amazing descriptions here of the depth of the moods and activities and language and relationships within the Gopi Gan, within the groups of the gopis. And there's that beautiful book Radha Ganadesh Deepika, which describes very much more of these. Also, the this little Ujjvala Nilamani, this is the Kiran. This is the abbreviated form. It's very, very helpful because all of these descriptions and categories, when we hear them regularly, if our interest is roused by this, and it just builds such an incredible picture of Braja Prem. That's what it gives us in the end. It gives us the fine details of what is the meaning. These are all such subtle indications of the nature of Braja Prem. So we'll stop there today, and we'll continue with chapter 34 tomorrow. Madhurya Ras Vichar, different categories of Sakhis. So as I said at the beginning of this Rasa Tattva section, all I was planning to do was read it through with everybody and just familiarize ourselves with the language and with all the different terminologies and just the vastness of the subject matter. If we get an appreciation of just how immense this topic really is, it will require a number of lives, a number of lifetimes to actually assimilate and absorb these descriptions. But by the mercy of Guru and Vaishnavas and Radha and Krishna, then it can be a slower process or a faster process. Everything is dependent on our connection, our sambandha, completely. It's not an academic topic. If someone tries to present these in a sort of intellectual, academic way, they're going to miss so much of it. Actually, this shouldn't really be read in a public assembly. I'm reading it because I'm not really commenting on it. And we've already developed, as I said at the beginning today, some type of adhikar, because we've been through the first 25 chapters. We know what is Sambandha Tattva. We know what is the Abhidaya Tattva from the Das Mula. We've gone in depth through all these different topics. We've built a platform of eligibility, and we're standing on that platform and we're hearing the illumination of this Bhakti Ras. And first time, second time, third time, fourth time, 10th time, 100th time, gradually, it'll reveal itself by itself. It's not something that we can battle on thinking that it'll, the harder I work or something. That's not, the harder I chant or the more I apply myself to my sadhan bhajan, then the more these topics will become accessible. This is the process. So thank you all very much. So Jaiva Dharma ki jai. Shrimati Radharani Prishabhanandini Vajeshwari ki jai. All Nayikas and Sakis ki jai. Gaur Premanandi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai, Jaiva Dharma ki jai, Gaur Premanandi. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhaveva cha, Patitanam Pavnivyo Vaishnavena.